pushed the veteran guys? How have those guys been instrumental in the leaps you've seen with Marcus and Mayan and even Master?
Yeah, I think they've definitely pushed. They've helped elevate the room, some new energy, some new juice, if you will, and they're young guys, so they're trying to impress, and so they go extremely hard when they're doing things, and they're very intentional, and so yeah, it's definitely lifted the room up.
How do you teach a guy who's never had to catch the football like Trey?
It's just repetition again on the jugs and just stationary things. You go back to ground zero, right? I mean, just like teaching my sons when they were little boys, and just how you teach them to catch. And some guys are more gifted than others, obviously, but you just find different ways to enhance their skills.
Tony, do you have an idea yet how you would manage these 5 guys going in?
No, not yet.
You go all the way up to the opener with that, or?
Yeah, we'll sit down as a staff and start discussing those things, and in the days to come, that's coming. Obviously, as we get closer to the game, 15 days away, I believe it is, and but we haven't done that, talked about that just yet. I mean, I'm starting to have an idea, just for myself, but we haven't sat down and really discussed that yet.
It seems like the way it goes, like you leave practice someday and maybe somebody's talking about Travion, the next day it's Mayan. Like, it seems like all of them can bring something to that position for you.
Yeah, they can. You said it seems like some days we walk away talking. I don't know who we is, but maybe you guys. But yeah, they all do. I mean, I think I know for a fact that I feel good about those guys that can put them all in games. Some days guys have better days than others. That's the natural tendency of things. That's kind of the ebb and flow and ups and downs that go on every now and again. But I feel good about all those guys right now.
Maybe a weird question, but you have 5 really talented guys in that room. That's a good problem to have.
It's a great. First of all, it's not a problem.
Okay. How would you? I mean, because you only got 1 ball. How are you going to divvy that up?
Like I said, I was just saying, we haven't figured that out yet. And you guys ask me that every year, probably 5-6 times a year. In the spring, in the summer, it's the same questions. Or is it going to be by committee? Is it going to be this way? Is it going to be? We don't know yet. And here's what I do know: that whatever I say at the same time every time, whatever it takes to win games, that's what we're going to do. And we're not into making guys happy. This isn't a happy camp. And like I said, we're going to do whatever we need to do to win football games, whatever that looks like. And we haven't come right now we haven't solidified exactly how that's going to go yet, as far as the rep counts and things like that. But that'll play itself out.
Would you be comfortable with any of the 5?
I would, and definitely 4 of the guys I feel comfortable with everything, and Evan's really gotten better, as a young guy, and he's really gotten better in the past week. We really started to see his game elevate. He's starting to play a lot faster, and he's got some juice, especially when he gets out on the edges on the perimeter. So he's definitely improving. Very happy where he's coming right now. But yeah, I think all 5 guys should go out there and play for us.
Tony, fans got excited last year by those flashes that you saw from Mayan, in the postseason and everything. I'm sure that you guys are seeing even more behind the scenes. Like, what else are you guys seeing that hasn't kind of been in the mix the way you do?
Well, just the way he prepares. He prepares like a pro. He doesn't get flustered. Never too high, never too low, good or bad. Right, things that'll happen within a matter of practices or meetings, and he's a pretty even-keeled guy and brings great energy every single day. And again, he's very serious about this game. And the thing he doesn't make many mistakes.
The commitment that he made.
I'm sorry.
The commitment he made physically this offseason. He's about 10 pounds lighter. Where do you see that show up on the field in practice? And how do you see that manifest to where he puts himself in a position to be more of a factor?
Well, I think it helped with his lateral quickness and short space bursts and things like that. That certainly helped his cause, and his stamina, things like that. And so you can see that that's helped. And it also talks about your buy-in. Here are the things you need to do to get better to play. Either you do or you don't. We have a saying around here: see the thumbs up or thumbs down. It's very easily evaluated. And so he's doing the things Mayan is doing and has done, the things that are necessary to get his body and his mind right to play.
With Evan and Trey, it seems like, at least from the outside looking in, they're 2 sides of the same running back coin. One seems to be more complete, heavily towards being a passing threat in the pass game. maybe is better between the tackles when they first got here. Have you seen that other side for each? Maybe
Yeah, that's a fair question. One of the things we're always trying to develop is the complete player, the complete back, not just a guy that can go on third down or a guy that can just do this. So, they've had to enhance the things that they're really good at, and then obviously work on the things that they're a little more deficient at. But they're both in their own right, kind of coming into that space of being that complete player that we're looking at. And it's obviously a continual process, but very pleased with where they're at as of today.
Tony, there's probably a difference between, an experienced player and a player who is this sense of innocence where, maybe they don't know yet what experienced players do, but you kind of try to protect the innocence of a young player, right? That equilibrium point might be a little different for each guy. You've got vets in the room, you've got young guys in the room. How do you try to protect and foster that sense of innocence with young guys and keep them willing to learn?
That's a fine line, and I think it's just, again, I always use the analogy of raising your children, right? You want them to grow and experience some things so that they can continue to grow, but not to where it becomes catastrophic or detrimental in their growth, where you throw them to the wolves, so to speak, where they can't survive, and all of a sudden it knocks them back 10 steps because of confidence level and things like that. So I think a lot of it's just due to the fact, as a coach, that okay, here are the things that they're good at. Any player, not just young people, but any player, here's what they're good at. So let's make sure that we're allowing them to live in that space for a little bit so they can continue to gain confidence, but at the same time matriculate them into situations where, okay, now this water's getting a little deeper for you here, but they can still survive it. And then when they kind of catch on to that one, just continue to grow. Does that make sense? There's a fine line, and everybody's at a different place. They don't all start in the same level, if you will. And but that's part of coaching. That's part of growing young people and young men.
When you have returning guys who are established, then you also got some talented young guys where the expectations are what they are for themselves
right.
and from the outside. What has to realistically happen for that young guy to unseat the guy?
You've got to make plays. You have to continually make plays. Continually show the staff and the football team that you can be trusted on. When you talk about competitive excellence, when your number's called, are you going to deliver? As a young guy, you have to be able to deliver, and that's in special teams. That's in meetings. If we ask you a question in a meeting, it's everything. It's not just on the field, right? I mean, it's everything. Are you accountable in the weight room? Are you accountable in meetings? Are you accountable to get to where you're supposed to be on time? They tell you to weigh in. Did you weigh in? Did you do all the little things correctly that are going to eventually evolve to doing the big things? And so they've got to continue to make plays and continue to get better, and where there's some tangible results that you can see day in and day out, and when their time comes, they got to be able to produce.
Tony, when clearly with Master, there's no issue with effort.
Right.
Where does he make a jump? Where is the element that you wanted him to focus on most from last year to this year to get him to that next level of running back?
Yeah, I just think there's some things that, in the run game, a lot of it's just being in the right place at the right time. When a hole develops and opens, that you're in that spot when you need to be in that spot, and then have the ability to see it and then get through it. And that was probably the space where I personally think he needed to improve, and he has. He's showing that he's doing those things, and but effort's never been an issue. And I got to be quite frank, effort's never been an issue with any of our guys. I mean, that's not it. But it seems like those things are going pretty well for him right now. And, but I also believe that, like you talk about those young guys coming in and the way they compete, that helps elevate the room, right? So all of a sudden you really can't afford to miss something because the next guy might not. And that's just kind of the game we're in.
Have there been times that you've noticed, you could tell the trade down didn't play last year, rustiness or experience?
More in the spring. Him and Evan both. I think that was one of the things that they come in with such high expectations and the media hype and all these things that are great, and it's good for a pat on the back. But when you get in between those lines, it really doesn't matter. And you got to play the game. How do you get better if you're not actually playing? So they needed to play, and you could tell in the spring that they were a little apprehensive on some things. One, because they didn't know. Again, it's a new system and everything's new to them. But two, they hadn't played in a long time. And it's one thing to play 7-on-7. It's one thing to go out and run drills and throw the ball with your buddies. It's another issue to get 22 guys on the field, and here we go. But you can tell that they've settled in, and with the calls, and settled in with the way you play the game again, and you can see that maturation process every single day. It's just a little bit better, and they may not realize it because they're in that swirling bowl, if you will. But if you go back and look at practice 1 to practice 13, you can see it.
You've seen Travion's highlight films and spectacular. Has he done that kind of stuff here? You just got to go, wow.
Yeah, he's had a few of those wow moments, and yeah, he has.
What would be fair expectations for him as a freshman?
I don't know. I don't want to put those expectations out like that. I don't want to say here's what it is. The expectation is the expectation for Travion and Evan and Master and Marcus and Mayan is the same as it is for Mike Hall, to be the best version of them that they can be every single day, and to try to help this football team be as successful as it can be every single day. But to put some outside influences and pressures on them, I just don't think that's fair. But I think you can get what you want if, again, it goes back to be the best version of yourself, and that's going to be good enough.
Tony, Travion was just talking to us about, kick returns. Sometimes he would let the ball roll because he knew he could beat guys in high school. In college, obviously, he hasn't been in a game yet to see that, and he knows that. But, for a guy that's that talented and could toy with guys like that, to come in and teach them, put them at the bottom of the totem pole, how does that work?
First of all, the ball better not roll on the ground. I'm still trying to get over that comment first. I don't know if the ball's going to roll. What are you talking about? All those guys at some point in time, they were probably at the bottom of the totem pole, if you will. Maybe they were freshmen in high school, whatever it may be. And you earn everything that you get. Here, that's how it should be in life. You earn what you get. And so just because you came in with all these accolades does not mean that, okay, well, we're going to throw him in over here because of some past stuff. Everybody in that locker room was a star wherever they came from. And so you got to go to work, and you got to earn your keep. But that's in recruiting, so it's not like they don't know that. And then these kids come in here and they just go to work, and they're indoctrinated into the program as the older guys help them, because they've all been in that situation before, mind you, a few years back. So again, it's not about we're going to beat a guy up because he's young. It's just we're all in this thing together. We're all in here for the same reason, to win games and be the best that we can be. And some guys develop at different rates. And when they guys show us that they can play winning football in that stadium in front of our great fans and for this great state of Ohio, then they'll play.
Tony, how much talk has there been, because you've got a deep room, that we all have to be in this together? Yes, we all want to.
Every day.
Yeah. And the unselfishness, and how has that come together, the chemistry?
Well, I think that's been that was formed way before me. I would guess if you went back in the year, Eddie George, all the way back, that's kind of been infiltrated into this building, and that's the culture of this building, the culture of this program. That we all need each other, and that's how they prepare. You got guys like Marcus Crowley that's helping young guys out. I watched Master Teague help Caden Saunders, a freshman walk-on, Cedric's son, and so those guys are always helping one another out, and sometimes intentionally, I do want to be the bad cop, where I can kind of say something and everybody else kind of jumps in to defend or help, whoever. So. But that's the culture of this room, and I think it's a testament to these guys are as people. It's a testament to how they've been raised as their families have raised them, and it's a testament to our locker room. It's a testament to Ryan Day and the culture that he wants in this program. And so yeah, I don't in our room, I don't know it any other way. But those guys help one another out because they all know at the end of the day we all need each other.
Tony, you mentioned Marcus, and he was honest that maybe in the title game he wasn't feeling full confidence in that knee.
Right.
There's been a couple times when they're out here, he looks like he's back to his old ways. Are you still seeing any?
No, I haven't seen any of the ill effects, none whatsoever. His attitude's been fantastic. You know, he's gained weight. He's gained the weight that we asked him to gain. So Marcus has done everything that we've asked him to do on and off the field.
What can, if he gets back to what he was doing as a freshman, what can that mean?
It means a heck of a lot. I like to think. I mean, he's a good football player. You know, he has some flashes his freshman year a couple years back, and again, we're going to need them all. It's a long year. You know, it's a long season, and it's a grueling season. It's a physical season. The way we practice is physical. So we're going to need them all, and all those guys. That goes back to your point of, you know, we all needed one another because it's a long, grueling season.
So these 5 guys all look a little bit different in the way, you know, just from my eye, way they do some things and stuff. What finally comes down to deciding who the guy is or who the 2 guys are?
You know, again, it goes back to who's making the plays consistently, and gives the best chance to have success throughout the course of time. Those are going to be the guys that play, and you know.
Do you get enough samples though for 5 guys to make, you know what I mean, to make that determination, or do you finally have to go with a little gut check?
Do some of that, I imagine. Yeah, because definitely. I mean, you only got so many reps, right?
Yeah.
And so you're going to kind of have to go with some things where we kind of see flashes of things here and flashes of things there, and make some decisions based on that. It's like anything else you do in this world.
Yeah, and this specifically about Travion, I don't know if you want to talk about it, but when I watch him, he's got that, what I call that wiggle to him. You know, maybe into the line, maybe into the hole, but he's got these little moves he makes that seem almost innate and stuff. Am I seeing that right? Or is he special in that regard?
Yeah, he's got some skills. He's got some.
Master doesn't seem to show that same.
No, you know, and everyone's a little bit different, but he's got some different skill sets that can kind of get guys off balance a little bit just by kind of lean here or lean there, a little jab here, jab there, and that he can get defenders off balance just enough that he can squirt by him because he's got a good burst about him. One thing that's true for me is he, just before attacking a defender for a tackle, he does a good job of being able to level his pads off and get himself squared off. You're not going to get real clean shots at him, you know, and you're not going to catch him off guard. He gets behind his pads really nice for a young guy, and so yeah, he's got some innate stuff about it. I'd like to say I coach it all, but I can't.
Hey, one other quick, like you talked about a rule about Master, you know, being in the right place, right time, whatever.
Right.
Are you talking about like that millisecond of patience to let things develop?
Yeah.
I mean, just explain, you know.
Yeah, that's exactly what I'm talking about. Yeah, that there's a pace. Every play has a different pace to it, if you will, and just finding that fine line exactly what that is, and it's a little bit different for me or for you, or you know, the stride. It's just everybody's a little bit different. It's just finding that niche exactly where it's at. But he's getting better.
Tony, you got 5 different guys.
Last question right here.
You got 5 different guys in this room who all probably have different motivating factors. Evan said that having his black stripe on through the summer kind of helped push him. Did you see that from him? Maybe take a step forward in the summer from where he was working in the spring.
Yeah, I mean, everyone's got that whatever it is, and you know what's your why, right? And, yeah, I could see that kind of helped push him some, and again when you're watching everybody else. And all of a sudden you start seeing people doing certain things. It's like, man, I better get moving because that train is continuing. That train's left the station and it's going to start rolling, and I got to keep up, whatever that looks like. And so yeah, but everyone's got their different motivators, you know, intrinsic, extrinsic, whatever it may be. And if that was one of his, fantastic.
When you see a guy in your room get that stripe off early, like Trey did, and then Evan work toward it and get it off, what does that mean for you as a coach?
Well, I you know, we laugh and joke a lot about, I did that. You know, it's not this never has been nor will be about me, right? If I wasn't coaching running backs, what's the date? The 17th, 18th? They'd have another one here on the 19th, right? They have someone else coach on the 19th. I mean, it is what it is. So really, for me, it's all about. I think this whole coaching thing is really about, are you helping develop these young men? to be the people that they want to be, and obviously the football players they want to be too. And can I be an avenue, and am I an avenue and a caveat to help them and a vehicle to help them achieve and to continue to grow? And so for me, it's great. It's like your kids, when you see your kids happy and fulfilled because they've achieved something, that's a great feeling. But not for me, but for them, because you see that the work that they put in to achieve something, and so it does it. You swallow a little bit of pride. Hey, that guy's doing well, and I'm happy for him. When I watch the success that J.K. Dobbins is having, I got nothing to do with that. That's him. That's his success. See, those are their successes. And I just happen to be one of the guys that I coach those guys, and I'm coaching Trey, and I'm coaching Evan, the Master. So when they have successes, that's really a culmination of the work that they put in, and at least that's how I believe. That's what I believe in, and that's what we're here to do, is to help them develop into the people and the players that they want to be.
Coach, thank you very much.